We've been saying it all season, but I think we've hit, a peak of the season. The Hawks have won 5 straight. They just knocked off the Bucks last night by double digits on the road, a team that's won 7 straight games and finally, after their slow start, finally started to find their footing and look like one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. But now you look at this 5-game win streak. The Hawks have knocked off the Cavs twice, who had only one loss before they had lost twice to the Hawks. They lost out to the Bucks. They've taken care of some bad teams. They're over 500. They're like 5th or 6th in the Eastern Conference. They're getting healthy. They're fun to watch. I think the biggest thing, and I talked about everything about this Hawks team that's so exciting to me, everybody can handle the ball. And it like you talk about positionless basketball. It's like everyone can kind of do everything outside of Clint Capella. No offense to my big man Clint. He plays some good basketball and does his job. But Onyeka Okongwu, like they all have the ability to pass and keep the ball moving. Trae Young is playing spectacularly, even though he's shooting only 39%. Yeah. It feels like he's playing the best of his career. I mean, he's averaging 14 or 15 assists over this 5-game win streak. It's beautiful basketball to watch. It's kind of what we expected when Quinn Snyder initially came to Atlanta.
Yeah, I thought, I described it this past offseason. It was like one step back to go 2 steps forward type of a thing, trading DeJounte Murray. And the Dyson Daniels facet of that trade has worked out better than, maybe Landry Fields and Kyle Korver and Quinn Snyder were like, we always knew this guy. He just needed the role. Nobody in Hawks land I could have predicted it would have been the Great Barrier Thief. It is already a staple in Atlanta, a pillar. We have a few pillars. We have Jaylen Johnson, Trae Young in terms of guys who cannot leave. And Dyson Daniels, or Jaylen Johnson, Zachary Richey, obviously. Dyson Daniels is right there. I mean, this guy is so critical to what the Hawks do. We have a better than average defense. Better than league average.
We haven't said that in 20 years.
I have never even thought about a good defense with Trae Young.
I mean, we played some, with Trae Young. No, you have to go back to the Al Horford, Paul Millsap days when we actually played a little bit of defense in Atlanta. But defense has been fantastic. They move the ball. It's winning basketball. They actually are playing the basketball that the NBA is not really known for. It's like the antithesis of the NBA, but that's how you're successful.
It's boring Popovich ball.
That's how you're successful. Well,
it's entertaining.
They love to get out and run. Jaylen Johnson, though.
Yeah.
He's going to be an all-star this year.
Yeah.
And he is getting significantly better every season. I mean, significantly better. Like, there's going to be a point in time, and I don't think we're too far off the distant future. We're going to be like, who's the number one on this team? Like, I don't think we're that far away from that conversation, and that's a great thing because Jaylen Johnson is emerging as the Batman Robin to Trae Young. Dyson Daniels plays his role. DeAndre Hunter off the bench.
I was just about to say, he's not getting enough love.
He seems to have found the perfect role, and this bench as a whole with Bogey, DeAndre Hunter, and Onyeka Okongwu is outstanding.
There's not a better, I guess 6, 7, 8. There might be that I'm not thinking of. I'm not an NBA nut, but like for my money, those 3 right there, that 6, 7, 8, DeAndre Hunter, Bogey, and Onyeka Okongwu could go toe to toe with any 6, 7, and 8.
Those are 3 starters. Those are 3 starters playing on the bench. Right. And Kobe Buffkin, after being injured the early part of the season, is playing some good basketball as a backup court. Like they have a legit 1 through 9 where there's no weakness.
Yeah.
There's no weakness.
And Larry Nance is just sitting there on the bench providing some veteran presence. And, in terms of injuries, this team is going to suffer some more. That's just the nature of basketball today, honestly. And we do have some injury-prone guys. Larry Nance is right there as your 10th guy, just waiting to get in. Yeah, it's a great team. It's a team. That's the difference between this. And you know what this reminds me of, and it's not going to have the same result, but it's that Eastern Conference final run in 2021 where we didn't have, it was the Trae Young show. And obviously Kevin Huerter had his moment. DeAndre Hunter had his moment in the postseason and everything like that. And there was a lot of contributors, but it was Trae Young. This feels a lot like that, where you've got, 7 guys with double-digit points and you're leading the league in assists, and the defense looks like everybody is doing their part, just playing their role. It feels like a real team, and it finally feels like this is a foundation we can actually jump off and leap off of.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to talk crazy, but the Hawks are going to win a playoff series. They're going to win a playoff series this year.
Well, I think that has a lot more to the Eastern Conference is so incredibly bad. And that's not to poo-poo on the Hawks parade because we are coming. We're coming. And just just let us get a top 5 or top 10 like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Lakers fans out there, you better not.
Don't miss the playoffs. Don't miss the playoffs. You know that ping pong luck is switching.
Yep.
It's coming to Atlanta.
Yep.
We're gonna do the New Orleans things where we get like back-to-back number 1 overall picks. I mean, listen, it's fun, and I don't want to get into like really matchups, but I really believe, you put us out there against the Knicks in a 7-game series. Good. I think we got a chance. The Bucks, I mean, outside of the Celtics, the Cavaliers, who we just beat twice,
we're doing kind of what the Cavaliers did a few years ago, where it's like they're good, they get some good pieces, and then they explode, and they're one of the better teams in the NBA. I mean, what's so great about this is the expectation, and there will be a few game stretch where we're going, oh yeah, these. I mean,
it could happen. Guys. It could happen the next 2 games. We play the Lakers and Nuggets at home. Like, we could go get blown out both those games very easily, and we've seen it. I mean, we were 7-11 just a couple of weeks ago, being like, are we going to have a crappy season?
It's just a young team, and these things are going to happen. But the point is, we're ascending, and the base is there. The structure of the building, the foundation is now there that you can build up from, which is not what we were going and buying, Ferraris while we had, in DeJounte Murray, when we didn't even have a garage to put him in.
This team feels like it's one lucky break away from actually being something special, whether it's the Lakers ending up in the lottery because of an injury and then we get a top 5 pick, or whether maybe we make another Dyson Daniels trade where we get someone out of unexpected that turns into be a huge player. But it really feels like this team is one kind of lucky breakaway where, the same where the 2021 team was, but we did everything wrong. If we can just make the right move or the right moves in the next offseason, it could be something special. Like, it's enough to get me excited and talk about on the show, because I don't do that often. There's not a lot of Hawks talk on this show. We got a lot of stuff coming up after the break.